I never thought being able to speak 2 languages would get me a job. It was a surprise when they asked me if they could call me when they needed me. And I was afraid I'd do something wrong. Because even in Spanish you have, like, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, they speak their Spanish is a little...
And the Mexicans?
Yeah, the Mexicans. And the Spaniards. The people from... Because we say we speak Spanish. And right away they think we're from Spain. But the Puerto Rican language is more like a slang. You always slide in a lot of English words. What I really wanted to do was be a nurse. Nurses work after they get married.
Do you have any idea how many people you've translated for? It has to be what?
It has to be thousands. Craziest thing that's happened to me in there was this fella came up to me and he said, "Do you remember me? You translated for me in court." And I don't remember. But I said, well, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I said, well, your face looks familiar. And then he turned around and said, "But you're still here. I thought you died."
Oh.
The craziest thing is when they asked me to translate, or the judge asks a question, and before I get to translate it, the client answers. That happens a lot. They say, I need somebody that speaks both languages, and then they do all the answering themselves. But a lot of them say they don't speak any English. A lot of them.
Why?
I think because they think they'll go easier on them.
You ever translating for someone who spoke some sort of Spanish where you just couldn't understand what the heck they were saying?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
That was the first Mexican I spoke to. They were using words I had never heard before. So I had to stop him and say, "What do you mean?"
Did it work out okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And now I understand them.
Some of them were criminal defendants who were really, really bad people.
Yeah, murderers, a couple.
Yeah.
And
how did that make you? Was that difficult?
Sometimes, but the ones that really I didn't like to do were the custody. That I didn't like because they were deciding who was going to get the kids. Because to me, I'm in court, do the case, and it's over. That morning, Terry Baker asked me if I knew that they needed a deaf interpreter. And I said no, and she said, well, didn't somebody, and I said, well, yes, they told me a couple of weeks ago that they were going to call to see if that man wanted to be a juror. And Terry said, well, he does, and we need an interpreter. I said, well, I could call. And I called and got him one, which was a miracle at last minute. And then about 2 hours later, I turn around, and there's Mr. Chuck, Terry Baker, and Bill Johnson. And I looked up at the first thing that popped into my mind, what did I do wrong? And Mr. Chuck says, Rayda, this is your retirement party, and I have come to escort you to it. All I can see in that book, I haven't sat down and read it, but all of it, there's not a page that doesn't say, we are going to miss you.